Hey there, everybody. Welcome to episode number 241 of the Veterinary Marketing Podcast, where it's all about how to attract, engage, and retain clients to your veterinary hospital. My name is Brandon Brashears. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about something that I think most practices are not prepared for. If I asked you, do you have a way to generate clients? Let's say you didn't have any appointments this week. What are you going to do? Well, there's a lot of things you could do, right? A lot of times in my group, when people ask this question, they say, how about we call our old clients? What if we send out emails? There's a lot of things that you could do. The thing that I want to instill in this episode is that you need to have a plan set up, because a lot of practices that I'm hearing are slowing down for the first time in 2 years. All of a sudden, there are openings. A few practices that have reached out to me have said, hey, all of a sudden, we don't have any bookings this week. Maybe a few for tomorrow, but not too much. What can we do? And the time to ask that question is before you need it. So this is going to be a really, really helpful episode, I hope. We're going to talk about how to create a consistent client generation tool that's going to let you bring people in a way that if you needed to pull that lever, you can pull that lever. All right. Before we jump into today's episode, which I think is going to be tremendously beneficial, please do me a favor real quick. So be sure to subscribe in iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts from. And then also, if you could do me a huge favor, please leave an honest review on Spotify. They recently released reviews there, so if you enjoy the podcast, it would help other veterinary professionals be able to access this podcast more easily, because it'll help with the rankings and things like that. So that would be super helpful. I'd also like to mention this episode is being sponsored by 2 websites this week. Thank you so much for Brad Haven and the usedvetequipment.com and newvetequipment.com team. For over 9 years now, usedvetequipment.com has been helping vets buy and sell used equipment. You can save money when you buy used veterinary equipment, everything from cages, kennels, pumps, x-ray equipment, lasers, ultrasounds, dental equipment, surgery equipment, lab equipment from Abaxis, IDEX, and Heska, tables, tubs, and sinks, vet trucks, and vet boxes. What do you have to sell? At usedvetequipment.com, they bring the buyer and seller together. And then also, if you're looking for new veterinary equipment with amazing warranties, check out newvetequipment.com, where they show you the price up front. They have digital x-ray equipment, dental x-ray equipment, ultrasound equipment, LED surgery lighting, surgery tables, autoclaves. When you go to newvetequipment.com, you're going to clearly see the price on every item for sale. You'll also be able to check out the warranty so that you can buy without regret at newvetequipment.com. They show you the price and give you a great warranty. They also have payment plans, all kinds of cool things. I know Brad, and he's a great guy, so be sure to support him, his website. His son also runs New Vet Equipment with him. So be sure to check them out. They're really, really great. All right, let's jump into today's episode. So this is a 6-part series here about 6 things that your veterinary hospital absolutely cannot avoid not doing. Okay, so things that you need to be working on in your veterinary hospital when it comes to your digital marketing. Today, we are talking step number 2 is have a consistent way to drive new clients in the door. That's one thing that I think most hospitals don't have a good grasp on. If you needed to fill the schedule this week, what would you do? You'd start to scramble. Most practices have been at the mercy of the market. The market's been going wild. You've been so busy that you couldn't breathe. And I totally get it. If you're starting to see a slowdown, though, I think that we're going to be seeing a more slowdown in the future here. Looking at what the Federal Reserve is doing in the U.S. here, just 2 weeks ago, they came out and said, we are going to be raising interest rates with the hope that we have 1 million jobs reduced, right? So they're trying to cut job growth by limiting capital here, and they're trying to do that so that they can help demand get to the point where the supply chain isn't messed up. Is what they said in their meeting, which it sounds pretty scary. So what can we do to make sure that, number one, you're not stuck in a situation where you don't have new clients coming in and then you don't know what to do? A lot of the people that I'm talking to, they're like, hey, we're down by this much. What should we do? Or, hey, for the first time, our week isn't booked out. We have some meetings tomorrow, but we're not booked out at all. We need to get this changed because we're adding new doctors, we're growing, etc. What can we do? The time that you should be asking that question is not when that happens, but before that. So if you're busy right now, then it's time to get in gear and make sure that you're helping to insulate yourself from this problem. Because I think that it's coming for everybody. It's not going to just be a few practices. It's going to be most practices. So if you're currently seeing this, then all the better to get moving and make sure that you really get this clear. So let's talk about this. In marketing, I'm going to give you a really vast oversimplification of marketing in general. With marketing, we're trying to reach basically two kinds of people for new client generation. We're either trying to target people based on their behavior, or we're trying to target people based on their demographics and their characteristics. And that's it. So when it comes to marketing, the first thing that we need to get really clear on for generating new clients is who are we going to be targeting? Because that's going to inform where we're going to be basically trying to attract the traffic, whether it's through paid, organic, social, email. It doesn't matter the traffic source. But we need to know who it is that we're trying to target. That's first and foremost. When we're generating new clients and creating a consistent way to do that, we need to know who it is. If you haven't done so already, be sure to go on over to my Instagram. Follow my Instagram. I'm going to make my course free. It's the 5-day Ultimate Client Creation Challenge, where it helps you to get crystal clear on your ideal client. It takes you through 5 steps to get that done. It's on demand. You can watch it. I'm going to make it free as a bonus for following my Instagram. I started Instagram, everybody. After 8 years of podcasting, I finally started an Instagram for Veterinary Marketing Podcast. Be sure to go follow and everything. So when we talk about, though, figuring out who the ideal client is, it's going to inform everything else that we do. We need to know as much detail about these people, and you know the ones that you love working with, the clients that are the best. So we need to duplicate those and increase the number of clients that you love working with. Because if you have a consistent way to generate new clients, you might as well be generating the ones that you love working with. They're going to help increase revenue, increase margins, increase profit, make your life better, not worse. So finding out those steps is number one. And then once we have a person in mind, whether it's a person that has a specific problem that's trying to solve it, or a person that has a specific type of characteristics and we're trying to find more of those, or maybe a combination of both, we can then go and either find more people that are doing that activity or find more people that are like that. So once we know who it is that we're targeting, we need to really get a clear understanding of what it is that we're going to be offering them. A lot of practices don't like discounting, and I totally appreciate that and get that, but there has to be something in place of a discount that's going to attract and engage and retain clients, and that's value. And if you're not conveying value in a way that's not commoditized, there's really no point in going to you, other than maybe convenience, you have an appointment open, or price. When we talk about price as a method for increasing value, it's because it's decreasing the cost. If you look at your practice and the services that you offer, and you look at the practice down the street and the services that they offer, chances are you could probably copy and paste the service section of your site and put it on theirs. And that means that most likely there's really no benefit unless somebody can get to know you. But if they're a stranger, the only thing that they can measure is that you are going to be the cheaper option or more convenient, or something that gives them an immediate tangible metric to measure against. And for most people, money is the easiest way to do that, right? If I can spend $79 on a wellness exam with you and $39 on a wellness exam with them, and I don't know the difference between you because I've never been there, the easiest way for me to gauge which one is more valuable is by going with the cheaper one because it costs less. So that's a real thing, okay? We can't just say, well, we love animals so much. That's not quantifiable, and you can't convey that through the screen. Once they get there, you can hug their dog until you're blue in the face, but you can't do it through the screen, okay? We need to figure out a way that's going to help to increase that value. So how can we do that? Number one, we need to make ourselves not commoditized. It needs to be unique and specific to you. One of the easiest ways to do that is to name it something unique. So instead of just a wellness exam, now you're the Grangeville Animal Hospital Wellness special or something, right? Like it's just different. So that's something that you can do. Name it something unique. The second thing that you can do is list out all of its component parts so that you show everything that's included. Clients don't know what's included. So if you can list out all of the component parts, it makes it seem like there's more there. A wellness exam versus a 12-step or a 20-step wellness exam. I remember there was a pre-owned car dealership. It was the Mercedes dealership. They didn't sell used cars. It was pre-owned. And they had a 40-point checklist that they would go through to make sure that it was up to their standards. And they talked about all of the steps in all of the ads that they did. And that was the way that they differentiated themselves, right? They listed out the component parts, and it made the perceived value higher. Okay, so we have those two things that can help you. But we also have 4 elements that I think are important to consider when we're talking about value. First up, we have the desired outcome. So what do we want to happen after coming into the service? What is the likelihood of that outcome? How can you increase the likelihood? If you increase likelihood of outcome, you're going to increase the benefit. So if you're doing TPLO surgery, what's the desired outcome? Is it going to be full range of activities? And then what's the likelihood of success for a surgical procedure like that? How can we increase that likelihood? Then how can we decrease the perceived difficulty to get that? How can we increase the convenience there for you? And then decrease the duration, how long it takes to get to that point. So for example, if you had a magic shot that could do some kind of stem cell magic, I don't know, I'm just making this up as I go. But if you had a magical healing shot that had stem cells and it would immediately repair any tissue, doesn't matter if it was heart tissue or like ligament or whatever, right? Like if you could just put it in there and it worked immediately with no side effects, that would be incredibly valuable. Versus like the alternative, if you let's say you had something that was costly, time-consuming, had a long recovery, a lot of aftercare, a lot of follow-up appointments, that would be a lot less valuable. How much more would people be willing to pay for something that worked immediately versus something that took a long time and was drawn out? So the thing that I think is really, really important to consider is how can we differentiate ourselves and make ourselves not be commoditized when it comes to this offer or promotion. And if you're going to do discounting, that's totally okay too. That's an easy lever to pull because money is an easy thing to measure against. And then I would say whatever the offer or promotion, and when I say promotion or offer, you need to package your services in a way that makes it appear more valuable and different. And that's where the word offer and promotion comes in. I'm not saying that it has to be a discount, but and the word promotion actually doesn't have any reference to the word discount. If you get promoted at work and you get a promotion, you get paid more. It's an elevation of value, not a decrease in cost, okay? But I think that marketers have used it as a euphemism for so long in place of the word discount that it has that connotation, but not what I mean by any means. So if you're trying to increase that value, creating an offer, so that's the what it is you're going to be showing to people. Hopefully it solves a specific problem, specific pain point. It gives them something that they not only want, but they also need. You're going to have a much better chance of getting somebody that's your ideal client to come in and say, this is something that I like and I want and I need. I'm going to take you up on it. When you could increase that value and increase the effectiveness of your offer, the rest is easy. And getting to the point where you know exactly what it is that your clients want and the way that they want it, you're going to be so much better off. If you have an offer that is incredible, that people really, really want, an example of this is The Boring Company, which is a company that Elon Musk owns. He made these flamethrowers that he called Not a Flamethrower, and they only had 1,000 of them, and they didn't do any advertising at all. But the offer was that you get this thing, it's not a flamethrower. There was a bunch of things about the status of it, and it was limited and scarce and all these things. They didn't have to do any advertising, and they sold out in a matter of minutes. And they didn't have a huge campaign set up. But my point is, if you have an offer that people actually want, the rest gets easy. And so I think that in terms of client generation, you can complicate everything by saying we need these funnels and follow-ups and on and on and on. Or you can spend time thinking about who your clients are, what they actually want, and how can we position our services in a way that it fulfills all their needs and really checks off any box that they have, right? When it comes to objections, when it comes to difficulties and challenges, don't just solve one of their major challenges. Solve all of them and make the offer incredibly more valuable by really fixing the problem that they're facing. And that will help you. And so now that we know who it is that we're targeting, what it is that we're offering, we need to go and find them. Where's the best place to find these people? Based on the offer that you have, based on the services that you're offering, my number one favorite way to get more clients and more traffic is paid advertising. And the thing that I love about paid advertising is that you can turn it on and off, you can scale it up and down, and you can measure it, and you can get results quickly. If you created this offer and then you started with SEO or other platforms, the exception of that would be email or text messages or own lists. Those are immediate too, right? So if you create an offer, you need to send it out to your audience and test it. People who already know, like, and trust you should take you up on this offer every single time. It shouldn't be maybe it wasn't for them. You need to test it out with people who are going to be your ideal clients. Once you have that done, though, let's say you wanted to scale up more and get more clients. The thing that I like about paid advertising are all those things, but out of paid advertising, I really like Google Ads. We're targeting, especially on search, people based on their behavior. So people who know they have a problem, are looking for a solution, and not only looking for it, but they need it. That is the key here, especially through tough economic times. People who need what you offer rather than just people who want or prefer it, you have to go to needs, okay? If you can target people's needs and you have an offer that they're going to want, you're going to be able to convert, even if you have an ugly website, even if you don't have the best online booking platform, even if you can do a good job. So once we have that, I think Google Ads is the way to go, in my opinion. Facebook ads are also great. We can target by demographics and that's the targeting. Remember I mentioned at the beginning here, there's two ways we can interrupt people's activity, or we can interrupt people based on their demographics and psychographics. Facebook is an interruption based on demographics and psychographics, with the exception of retargeting. Facebook is less superior in my opinion because of that. I really like Google Ads because you have the intent and you can get laser focused. The cool thing about Google Ads too is that you can reach almost everybody in the world. Everybody uses it, and you can also get really specific on the kinds of things that you want to target. You could go, as specific as lymphoma treatments for pets, to TPLO, to cherry eye, to internal searches and surgery searches and ultrasound searches, and you name it, it is there. You can get very, very niche and laser focused and only target those really good clients. So that, I hope, paints a picture, but you need to then apply traffic to it and have a consistent way to bring new traffic. I don't care if it's organic or Google My Business posts or Google Ads or Facebook ads or YouTube ads, display ads. We need to go out to the client store and basically acquire customers now. And trying to figure out the best way to do that is going to depend on who it is that you're targeting, what it is that you're selling, and then connecting that with the shortest possible funnel and going up from there. Okay, I hope that this makes sense. I have a bunch of free trainings coming out. Be sure to go on over to Instagram, follow me at Veterinary Marketing Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, need help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you're looking for somebody to help you with new client generation, I would strongly suggest reaching out to me, booking a time on the calendar, seeing if we would be a good fit. I definitely have some requirements for clients that I work with, so I don't work with everybody, but I will always give help and advice. So if you want to, please reach out, Brandon at veterinarymarketingpodcast.com, or go to Instagram. I'm finally there. There you go. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode.